Hello everyone. I'm just switching back to my webcam for now because as good as my other webcam was on my other laptop, the voice came in very low, so I couldn't very. It made it sound much quieter than it was. Nevertheless, I'm here to give you my personal top 10 favorite movies of 2015, and this can be a very 100% personal bias list. The movies that I love the most. These are just the movies that I had the most fun with. I love the most, and hopefully I'll make this less than 15-minute video because I just want to make it a bit more shorter than usual. But oh well. But before I get into my top 10, at least, here's my honorable mentions for me. Paddington, a really cute and funny, well done family film that I really enjoyed. Fast and Furious 7, a really interesting action movie with a raw heart of true emotion within it. I thought it was really good. The Gift, a surprise directorial debut by Joel Edgerton, which I thought was really good. Excuse me. Mission Impossible 5, I had a lot of fun with this movie. It seems like the franchise is just getting better and better, except for the second movie, which is pretty terrible. Ex Machina, one of the more fascinating and unique sci-fi films of the last few years, which I really enjoyed a lot. Black Mass. I actually really enjoyed Black Mass. I thought it was a really interesting gangster movie with Johnny Depp, in my opinion, giving one of my favorite performances of the year. I loved the tone. I loved the characters. I loved so much about this movie. Ant-Man. I thought Ant-Man was a really surprisingly greatly fun movie, in my opinion. I thought it was really well done, and I loved Scott Pym as new type of hero. And Kingsman, the Secret Service. Oh, it's so hard to put Kingsman on my list, but I couldn't, unfortunately. I couldn't, unfortunately, in the end. But oh wow. Here is my. I know we're 2 minutes in, but here we go. Here is my top 10 favorite movies of 2015. Number 10. I have a list right here in front of me. Thankfully. Alright. My number 10 for me is going to be Spectre. This is the newest James Bond movie. The reason why I put Spectre on my list above all any other is because of two things. James Bond himself and the storytelling. I loved the unique tale that this went through. This had a great mix of the old and new in the movie as a whole. Daniel Craig is excellent as Bond. God damn, I forgot his name. Dave Bautista was great. The villain was great, played by Christoph Waltz. There's so much I loved about this movie, but the main reason why it's on my number 10 for me is because it's a great mix of the old and new James Bonds. And like I said before, this may not be the most well-done movie. It may not have much finality to it or anything like that. But I really do enjoy this movie as a whole because it was a great nod of the old original James Bond movies. And it's a great mix of the old and new in this movie with a great tone, focus, and callbacks, and a great solid Bond, a great solid villain, and I guess, in my opinion, this is one of the more well balanced James Bond films out there, in my opinion. And yeah, Spectre, that's number 10 on my list. Number 9 is Creed. Creed is a great kick back into the Rocky franchise that started out in the 70s. Like I said, I'm not the biggest Rocky fan, but this really got me back into the movies. This definitely is on par with in my opinion with the first and fourth. This movie had a lot of heart. Michael B. Jordan was excellent in this movie as Dominic Scully, as Creed himself, and Sylvester Stallone is magnetic. He's incredible. He's just incredible in this movie. I love this performance. It was so sweet. It was so sincere. It was super well done, and it was shot with a great level of intensity and strength for you to really keep carrying within the whole movie. And the girl that Creed meets, you grow to love her as well, and she's an excellent character in my opinion. And Creed definitely lands on my list for that. It has a lot of heart, a lot of passion, and a lot of great acting as a whole. Number 8 for me is going to be The Martian. The Martian was a truly welcome comeback from Ridley Scott. In my opinion, he really just adds a lot of great things within this movie. A lot of survival instincts with this movie. A lot of Matt Damon fighting his inner fun and the pros and cons with being stuck in the moon. He's like, I think at one point he says, "Eat your heart out, Neil Armstrong," which I thought was funny. I love the character of him. The great supporting cast was excellent. The cinematography was incredible. The effects were probably the best. I'm probably going to say straight out the best of the year. In my opinion, The Martian has, in my opinion, the best effects. Just of the movies I've seen, that to me had the best effects, the best CG hands down. And The Martian for me is just a truly welcome comeback from Ridley Scott, in my opinion. At number 7 for me, and I'm definitely alone on this on my top 10, but it is The Avengers: Age of Ultron. I really love this movie. I really, really do love it. I love, as much as I adore, I fucking love. Who the hell doesn't love The Avengers? And coming off the heel of the first Avengers is no mean feat. But to come off, as much as I love The Avengers, it didn't progress any characters. It didn't make them grow or evolve. This one was much more character-oriented. It was much more character-focused. It grew the characters, gave them more dimension. In the first Avengers, they walked off each other perfectly for the perfect type of a fun, kick-ass movie that it was. But this one really did further the relationship and test their, like I said before, the relationship, and I thought it was truly well done in my opinion. I was really blown back by it. I loved Jimmy Spader as the villain, in my opinion. He was excellent. He had a lot of commanding threat, and yet a lot of commanding fun and coolness to him as well. People wanted him to be another Joker, essentially, but I really enjoyed him, and I kind of just gave into the inner fun of the movie as a whole, and I personally loved The Avengers: Age of Ultron. I thought it was, to me, one of the more faithful comic book adaptations out there, in my opinion. Yeah. And number six for me is The Hateful Eight. Yeah, I told you this would be on my list, and it was. I loved The Hateful Eight. Tarantino is back with a really well done movie there's a lot of great intensity. You can really feel the environment in this movie. You can really feel the coldness. You can feel the characters coming off the screen. You can feel so much of it. It was super tense and yet super comfortable in a weird way. The dialogue was just, it's like everything you want from Tarantino is here. And while it may have his pros and while it may have its problems at times, the performances, the cinematography, and the dialogue gives it, for me, one of the most engaging films of the whole year for me. For me, these are ones that, my top 5, these are ones that I'm like, okay, these are ones that I personally love the hell out of. I love the 10 through 6, but 5 through 1 for me is like, this is really, for me, like my top personal favorites. Alright. At number 5 for me is going to be Jurassic World. I know a lot of you are probably flipping out about this, but I really love Jurassic World. I just love the characters, I love the tone. For me, this is one of the more fun blockbuster films of the year. I just had a complete blast watching it. I love Chris Pratt. I love the effects. I love the story. I love seeing T-Rex again, which is amazing in my opinion. And as a whole, yeah, I just had a fucking blast with Jurassic World personally. And it's, for me, one of the more fun, laid-back movies of the year. I can just pop in and have a good time watching it, really. And for me, it's really just a ball of a fun movie. And even if you don't like it, I don't know what to say, but that's just how the world works, I guess. But Jurassic World for me is one of the more fun, laid-back movies of the year. Sorry, I shook the camera. But for me, Jurassic World, I did it again. But for me, Jurassic World is one of the more fun movies of the year, in my opinion. And number 4 is what probably a lot of people consider to be the best film of the year, and I wholeheartedly agree. And it is Mad Max Fury Road. shit. Just, what else can I say about this movie? Everyone, including myself, has praised this film. The cinematography is wonderful. Tom Hardy, Charlie Theron, they're both fantastic. The story was simple, but it was just enough for you to really enjoy the ride and really enjoy the cinematography and the characters and the action. This is probably among one of the greatest action films I've ever seen, hands down. It's just a superb film, in my opinion. It really is a superb film, and I loved this movie for that. I loved the story, I loved the characters, I loved the action. It just had the most important categories of a movie: story, plot, and effects and action. And they were all solid. For me, this is definitely the most badass movie of the year. Mad Max Fury Road kicks a lot of friggin' ass. What more can I say about it? It's just awesome. What else can I say about Mad Max? Number 3 and number 2 are both indie films, surprisingly enough. But here we go. Number 3 for me is going to be 71. I loved the hell out of this film. I friggin' love 71. The performance by Jack O'Connell in this movie is just superb. I loved it. It had this great behind enemy lines feel to it. I love the intensity. I love the suspense. I love the thrill of it. The director Yann Demange. I haven't seen a film, but he hasn't made a really long film like this, except for this, of course. For me, what an incredible film. I'm totally at a loss for words of how amazing this film is. For me, it's one of the best independent films probably since 500 Days of Summer, really. It's definitely one of the best indie films of the last 5 years, at least. And I loved 71. It was such a suspenseful, tense, well-done movie. And the survival abilities of Jack O'Connell's character within the IRA conflict of this movie is so fascinating. And he is very much the observer character. You see it all through him, and you see that this little child that he meets, he gets taken in by a girl and her dad, and this constant manhunt after him is unrelenting, and it's not stopping for him at all. And he's completely exhausted, and he just wants to get some rest. But it's like, he just wants to catch some breath, and I personally can relate to that. I've been not in that situation, but I felt like I've been in that moment before, with everything riding on your shoulders. So much depends on your own action, and I can really relate to that. I love this character. I love the story. For me, this is seriously an underrated masterpiece. It really is. It's an underrated masterpiece. Number 2 for me, again, number 2, number 1, it was so hard, but there's a reason why. But number 2 and number 1, whatever. Number 2 for me is Macbeth. This is probably the most well-made movie that I've seen this year. And there's something about it that just made me love this film. Here's the thing. Film is all about the visuals. It's 100% always going to be about show, don't tell. Don't tell me the exposition. Don't tell me this. Just show it. Just do that without it being forced, essentially. And this movie is drenched in rich, haunting, unrelenting, brilliant cinematography. The directing by Justin Grisel is so immaculate. It's so amazing, and I loved Michael Fassbender in this movie, and I loved Marion Cotillard in this movie. They were both phenomenal. They were both freaking phenomenal. I was so blown away by both of them. this movie. The action was superb. The storytelling was so good. There's so much I could just like I said before in my review of this. There's so much about this film that I could just gush about why I love films like this. And of course, my number one favorite movie of the year is Star Wars: The Force Awakens. It's like I just love this film. I love it. I so love it. The characters, the situations that they're in. There was so much about this movie that made me just love it. I absolutely loved it. I loved the richness. I loved the knowledge to the originals. I loved how it was trying to do some things new, but try to pay tribute to the old. It wasn't being forced or anything like that. I thought it was superbly crafted. It may not be the most well-made film of the year, but for me, it's my personal favorite. And my number two and my number one balance each other out very, very much. My number one is a very much Hollywood blockbuster film, while my number two is a sleeper underground indie hit. And for me, these two movies represent so much why I love film. There's the great, fun Hollywood movie like Star Wars, like The Hobbit, like Pacific Rim. Like so many movies like that. And then there's sleeper indie films like Macbeth, 71, Snowpiercer. For me, there's so much I loved about this year. And while there was some shit piles, the good truly does outweigh the bad. And in the end, I fucking love 2015 as a whole. And thank you everyone for watching. Now I'll see you in the future. Actually, I will see you in the new year for new videos as always. Till then, everyone, thank you very much. And I will see you in the future as always for more videos. Till then, yeah, bye. Oh, before we go, Happy New Year to everyone, to every single each and one of you. Sincerely, 100%, thank you. We're just hoping for a new and better year. Bye.